Hey guys, my name's Khadroth, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a tier list that I've made. It's not really a tier list, it's more like a listing of the appends that I thought that you guys might find useful, particularly the third append. So again, obviously your first two appends that every unit has are the extra attack and mana loading, of which mana loading tends to be the go-to really good append. But just in case you have the servant coins lying around, I thought it would be useful to actually go ahead and make a list of the third appends that I thought might actually benefit the player to have unlocked. Now, again, I actually did make this list last year and ended up losing it. So this is me remaking this just so that people had it as a resource if they should so need. Again, it may get out of date. I'm not going to promise to keep it immediately up to date, but certainly it has all of the units released as of the release of this, and I may update it from time to time if I see fit. But just kind of talking about the methodology here, a lot of what I was looking for each and every class was some sort of synergy here that you guys can find where maybe they have a niche that actually allows them to sort of double dip with that third append. So even if the unit may not actually have a, effective damage type against the unit covered in their third append, I figured it might be a good idea to take a look at the niches that they could do just to see if they could get some sort of extra benefit. So like take Mordred, for instance, here, who has anti-saber as her third append. That one's actually pretty nice for her since she has anti-artoria on her NP. That way she can get a little bit more firepower out of that. It's already kind of in her wheelhouse for a reason you might already be using her. So that's one of the big reasons I looked at it. Certainly there were other units too that I kind of came in here and said like, hey, look, maybe you're just going to want the unit overall to have that third append unlocked because you're using them prolifically no matter what they're up against. The only times that I basically went against this were when the unit actually had a third append that was anti them. So for instance, if they managed to have an append like as an archer that was Lancer, logically I probably didn't go after that one because you're not going to want to take them in that situation anyways. In Super Orion's case, that's not the case. I just went ahead and put him up here because even though he doesn't have effective damage or really necessarily a niche that will come into play, I said, look, you're probably going to at that point use Super Orion when you're going to use them. So if you have the coins, might be useful. There were a couple of units that I actually didn't end up covering with that. Units like, say, Barghest or, again, Balbon, where they actually have been used for quite a bit of soloing over time, especially in the Road to 7 campaigns. But I didn't necessarily feel like they brought anything else to the table by having that third append unlocked. So it's up to you if you really want to go after that. You may find it useful. And again, that's why this section down here at the bottom just says probably not worth. You may disagree with me on some of these. You may actually say like, hey, look, no, I'm using this unit all the time. I really want that third append unlocked. An example of this would be something like Melisande, where some people tend to use her as a neutral looper if they have a particularly strong one. I didn't find that her third append would actually be useful because there's no real niche to double dip into, but you guys might enjoy it as well. Similarly here, I actually came back and sort of split out some of the meta supports that weren't in their own category. So if they weren't somehow grouped up into one of the classes that they're actually in as having a useful third append, I came back down here and I put them in the meta support category and said, look, you're using these units so often that maybe you get into a knockdown drag out fight, maybe you get into a scenario where you actually have the opportunity to still card with them, even though they're not necessarily going to be the effective unit. So basically imagine, say, taking Lady Avalon into a challenge scenario. You might be using her prolifically in that, getting a lot of carding done. If you're going to find that you have the coins available to do the third append, it makes sense to go ahead and actually unlock that because it's just more damage you're going to get in the long run in those scenarios. It doesn't mean you have to do that, though. I'd say this is certainly on the lower tier of things that you should be looking at in terms of unlocking your third append. But hey, if you're going to be using your meta supports all the time, that can definitely be a consideration. Same thing, I titled the Berserker section, Berserkers are weird because Berserker third appends are always the anti-crit damage, anti-crit chance append. And that could be useful if you're using them in challenge environments. Again, say someone like Ku Alter or Herc. If you're trying to solo with that unit, definitely you might find a use for it. But just remember, it's class specific, so it's only going to be useful in the scenario that they were one, facing that class, and 2, that unit was going to crit them. Even then, even if the normal damage would still kill them, it wouldn't have mattered. But certainly, at least with our cockroaches here, they're far less likely to die in that sort of scenario. So again, you may want to consider actually unlocking the third append with them, but for the majority of berserkers, I just ignore their third append. It doesn't seem that useful to me because it's so highly situational. And then again, there are other units out there that have, say, berserker as their third append, which can be a really nice thing to have because it just means they're going to get more firepower. An easy example of that I can point out here is going to actually be Jarcher, who has it on her third append. And then certainly there's other units where they might actually have effective damage. It's pretty rare, but 2 of the ones that immediately come to mind for me are Satheno, who actually manages to have anti-rider, and then Okita Alter here, who actually manages to have anti-caster. Both of them have an actual like unit that they were already effective again as their third append class, so it's allowing them to just get more bang for their buck. But then again, in most of the other cases, like say with Maonobi, you may find that the unit type that they're up against, they have anti-divine, anti-sky, so it's highly likely that they're going to be able to employ their niche already against it, and you may just find that it might be your best solution if you have a powerful version of that unit and have that third append to unlock. So that is kind of the logic that I went through with all of these. I tried to find some sort of synergy with them. If they had it, I said they were a good append. If they didn't, I probably grouped them into the bottom. Don't feel too bad about that though. Again, if you disagree with me, I'm just going to say that I didn't see that much usefulness here, but certainly there may be some units that you guys decide, well, you know, maybe I actually can get some use out of this. Maybe I have the coins lying around. Certainly this is a lot more of a consideration when you have sort of like low star supports and stuff like that, where you're going to be getting the servant coins for them all the time. You don't have to feel bad about unlocking all your low star appends. That's something that I actually recommend that you guys do. Just be careful when it's a sort of like story locked or limited 3-star or lower. That way you actually, you know, don't use the coins if you're maybe considering grailing or something like that, right? Keep in mind, you got to be very careful with this until they give us a coin fix, because no one knows when that's going to happen. No one knows when you'll get more coins. But certainly if you have all the coins available, just unlock everything. That's the easy solution. So again, let me know if you guys think I got anything wrong here. Let me know if you guys would like to see more appends and what you would like to see for that. But again, I hope this tier list is actually helpful to you as a resource. Also, I will be doing a charity stream live on the 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Check me out then, and we'll be actually doing again a stream supporting basically bringing video game consoles to hospitals and allowing kids to be able to have access to that while they're stuck in the hospital. I think it's a great cause. It's for gamers outreach, and I hope to see you guys all there for that one. I'll be doing it live on Twitch. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys for the next video. Have a good one.